Hi, this is Azim Jamal, and we are speaking about the Corporate Sufi Alphabet A to Z series. And today our focus is on the letter U, and the word we've chosen is understanding. If you look at the corporate world, the business world, how this word understanding plays an important part is that, as you remember the late Dr. Covey, Stephen Covey, he said it beautifully: seek first to understand, then to be understood. Most people focus on being understood first before understanding. So they want to talk more, listen less. But the reality is, look at an example of a client coming to you, and you talk. Guess what happens? You're given everything, but you don't even know the client's problem. You don't even know the client's pain. You don't know the customer's need, and you've given them all the things you can offer. You lose the customer because the customer is not interested in your product. The customer is interested in their pain. What is their need? So being able to understand the client's need, being able to understand the client's pain, being able to understand what the client is all about is your starting point. And then you have to align what you're offering to the customer's needs. So understanding becomes very important. I think one of the parameters you can use is talk 1/3, listen 2/3. It's a good way to do it, whereby you will understand more and be more relevant in your communication. So communication is not really talking. Communication is listening. The more you listen with your eyes, with your heart, with your undivided attention, with your ears, with non-judgment, that's when powerful listening happens, and that's when powerful understanding happens. If you go with a baggage, you are preconceived, you're judgmental in your approach, you're not really understanding, because you already made up your mind what you're hearing. Yeah, sometimes when a child is talking, or your staff is talking, or employees or your customer is talking, and your mind is somewhere else, you're missing the whole boat. And by the way, if there's important communication to happen, don't talk on the phone. Meet the person, because there's a body language. Most of your communication happens through body language. So you're listening not just on the words, but you're listening and looking at your person's body to say what the body is saying to you about how the person feels. So that is very important, and I think it's the foundation of all communication. And I was doing some work with a big mobile company in Africa and many years ago, and they had this suggestion box whereby they used to invite suggestions about what can we improve, and they got about 130 suggestions. And when you boil it down, I think 80% or 85% of the suggestions were about communication. And it's funny, because mobile company is about communication, and 85% of the suggestions are how do we improve our communication. So the point is that people don't communicate well, and the biggest issue around communication is understanding, because that's the foundation of communicating and connecting. If you switch all this around to the personal life, there's a big problem there too, in terms of nobody wants to understand somebody else. They all want to come up with their own points about what I want to say and why I am right, and people are generally very poor listeners, because listening is hard work. Listening means taking your own beliefs, your own needs, and focusing on somebody else's needs, and focusing on somebody else's approach. And it's hard. It requires active listening. It requires focus, attention, and getting away from your own paradigm. And that's very, very difficult. So great leaders are great listeners, and they understand deeply, and that's why they connect and can make a big difference, whether it's in the home or in the business environment. So all of us, in terms of, if we start becoming better at understanding people, we will be able to form the foundation of trust, which is ethos, relationship, which is pathos, and then we'll be powerful at our logos, which is logic. But if you start with logos and logic and shortchange the understanding and pathos and relationship, the trust will not happen. So today the message is about that, and understanding will lead to the harmony of business, balance, and beyond.